Hey guys, how's it going? Happy Wednesday night, 6 p.m. I was in here messing with the lighting. You all know how much I love to fidget. I'm so ADD. And yeah, I got all caught up in my lighting and I'm still sitting here trying to fix my laptop. And so yeah, there you go. So ADD, right? Attention deficit disorder. It just means your attention goes to so many things so quickly, makes it difficult to focus and just be right here. And I think a lot of us suffer from that, and some of us have the ability to work with it, get around it, and oftentimes, but other times, not so much like now. So I'm sitting here trying to turn on the laptop, and then I'm like, oh my God, that's not even my laptop. It's Fareed's laptop. And I don't know where mine is. It disappeared. So maybe Fareed has it now. Hey, what is going on? How are you today? Hiwi, how are you? Hiwi? Hiwi? Hiwi. I would love to know how to pronounce that. I don't know if you can help me. Maybe you can write it out for me phonetically. So, what is going on with you? What are we talking about? What's happening? I'm Gina Tabrizy, and I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist. I am not acting as one here on Facebook. I'm actually just doing this as a public service to inform you, to guide you, to support you, and to lean you in the right direction of help and support, at least through the experience, through the years of knowledge that I've had as a therapist. Hey, Beth! And my experience as a human being on this planet, which holds a lot of value because I've got that down. 55 years of it. So I guess this is an opportunity where if you have issues and struggles, things that you think about, things that you've been struggling with, and you just haven't had that faith and courage to go in and to seek help and ask for help from a therapist, that this might give you, this might give you a venue to do that, to kind of share your experience, your pain, your hurts, your sorrows, your struggles, and seek a little help and guidance. What do you think? Well, that's the plan anyways, okay? So as you know, my job involves a lot of talking. I've been talking all day and I can feel my mouth so dry and I'm like tripping over my words here. So I'm gonna keep drinking my water. So how's it going? What's happening? What are we talking about tonight? We're talking about crisis. So I'm hoping some people will join. I apologize. I think I was about 2 minutes. So people will join you all who've already joined me. But I think it was about 2 minutes late. I tend to be really good about being here on time with you guys. So I hope you'll accept my apology. I was a little bit distracted. And I can see Fareed's here because he's posting our Ask Gina notices. So he's describing to you the background of Ask Gina and how to contact and be informed. Hey, Sherry, how are you? Paradise, California. Oh my God, please say a prayer. Everyone say a prayer for Sherry over in Paradise. So I was a little bit, I'm taken aback by all the natural disasters and unnatural disasters, like all the shootings that have been occurring. And it's really terrifying. And hi George, whether you're in that natural disaster or not, or you've experienced one. Hi Brenda, all my friends are here. So I please send your prayers to Sherry, but everyone who's impacted in our LA and Northern California area with the fires. When I look at it, it's so horrific. I can barely keep my eyes on it. I just feel stunned by it. And so when I thought about the topic for tonight, so many things were going through my head because I know it's right before Thanksgiving and we want to talk about gratitude, and maybe I'll weave that in here. But looking at the devastation, it's all that came to my mind is, how do you deal with crisis? It is very humbling, Sherry. Hi, everyone. There's disasters are breaking my heart more every day. Right, Amy? It's sickening. It's heart sickening, if there's such a word, or we're making it up tonight. It sickens my heart to see what's going on. It's absolutely so very sad, Brenda. And where are we in the story of what's happening, and can we look at and be realistic about seeing how our environment is changing? We so obviously are in a climate issue right now. We are so obviously in what researchers and scientists have called global warming, and deem that, God, you guys, what, 15 years ago or longer? And so, hi, Julie Miners. So we've got to look at and see that our environment and our world has changed, and this is more commonplace now to have these kinds of devastating events. And then we have the psychological devastating events of these horrific shootings, right? So I'm going to offer whatever I can tonight and tell you about crisis. I've had crises of all kinds in my life. I've gone through hurricanes in California, gone through earthquakes, personal crises, emotional crises, more immediate to home, dealing with people who were not quite sane or people that have been threatening in my life. So those aspects of it I get. I once was at home when there was a burglary attempt to come into the house with men who were armed. So tell me your stories, because these are environmental. This is the fires, this is hurricanes, this is floods. And then we have other emotional, more personal experiences, right, around crisis. So I want to hear from you. How did you get through that? What did you do to cope? Not just myself, but for all of you. And Sherry's saying it's too dry. So let me see comments here. George, he's he feels for us out here and everything that's happening in California. To see all the death is horrible. Absolutely. It's only 50 miles away from Sherry, you all. It's so dry over here. It looks like a ghost town, really, from the images. It's indescribable, really. And yes, George is agreeing that the climate is changing and it's too dry. So how do you deal with crisis? How do you deal with it when it's coming? I have survived another California fire when the Laguna Beach and Laguna Canyon Road fire took over the entire hillsides of Laguna Beach, which is very close to the water. And you would think the climate there would be a little bit more moist and damp, but yet they went through a dry season where the hillside just went into flames, and it was 5 miles from my home, from my very first home. And sitting in that house, I will never forget this, and it's an image that really stays with me, and I want to share with you. If any of you are close to this or just thinking, how does a person deal with a devastation like that, like a shooting or a fire or an earthquake, where you suddenly lose everything that matters to you, right? So sitting in this house, and Fareed and I were so broke. We could just afford to buy this home, but we couldn't really furnish it. And we didn't have window coverings for like 2 years, by the way. And so we're looking out the window, and all we could see is flames on the hillside just 5 miles back from us. And I remember just kind of grieving, just sitting down on the floor and crying and thinking, oh my God, Fareed saying hi to everyone. Oh my God, I've worked so hard to get here. Fareed's worked so hard to get here. Hi, Fran. And we're going to lose it all. And what do you do? What do you do with all of that emotion? And looking at this beautiful home, or whatever it is, apartment, condo, your car, whatever it is that matters to you, that you worked and you're so proud of, and you're so attached to, right? In so many ways, it's your living space. It's what houses you. It's what protects you. And I'm sitting there on the ground, and I realized, I'm 30-something years old, and I went, all my life it's been a struggle to let go. All my life. People have left, many people have left, and so I think the feeling of being left or being abandoned made me attached to people really fiercely. So here I was, very attached, to this brand new home, my new home, a town home or whatever, but mine. And it was going to go up in flames as far as I knew, right? So in that moment, and weeping and letting go, some reality came over me. And the reality was this: I am so powerless. This is nature, this is the universe, this is God, whatever you believe in. This is a disaster, this is a coincidence. It's coming, and there's nothing I can do to stop it. And I can resist, I can fight, I can be angry, I can be hurt, but it's going to happen anyways. It's coming, right? So in that moment of that, and I swear to you, as far as I knew, my house was going up in flames, and it did not by a miracle, right? And that miracle is the change in the way, as Sherry's saying, which way is the wind gonna blow? Hi, Kelly. Hi, Diana. I'm so glad you're here, and I'm so glad we're talking about crisis, and of course I gotta talk about California fires, and I'm telling you a fire that I went through 20-something years ago and thought I was gonna lose my home. Amy, keeping faith that it's going to be okay or get better is all I have to hold on to cope. It's a gloomy time and it's affecting me more than usual. I can't imagine being in fear of fire or disaster on top of everything else. So scary. Oh my God, that is very beautifully said, Amy, and so eloquent and exactly how it feels. You've described it beautifully. George, pero son un país que se levantana después de... And he's saying we're a country that we lift ourselves back up quickly. We're survivors after a disaster, and I couldn't agree with it more. Yes, send love. Send much love to Amy and Diana and everyone else who's commenting, George. Send love and support to each other. Hi, Linda. Oh my gosh, hi, Linda from Turlock. So we're talking about disasters and we're talking about crisis and in how do you deal with a crisis. And I'm telling the story about when I was in a California fire and for all intents and purposes, as far as I knew, my home was going up in flames. It was 5 miles away. It looked like it was in my living room. It was like in 3D on this hillside behind my home that was 5 miles back. It felt like it was in my backyard. And so as I'm sitting there and I weep and I look around and I think and I search my heart and I say, if this all goes, what do you have? All of it goes. What matters? What do you have? And then I said, all I have is me. And at that time, I don't think we had our kids yet. So all I have was me and Fareed, my husband. And we were very newly married. So I said, let's grab our photo album, which has now become very precious to me because I've lost in other disasters in our home. I've lost years of family videos and photos and archive photos and all that. And so I've had another process of letting go of the sentimental attachment to the picture of what it looks like and having to hold on to, hi Bob, having to hold on to the reality of your memories is all you're going to have left. So taking that photo album, looking at the house, and I said, let it go and let's just go. And my husband and I walk out in our pajamas and are ready for evacuation and just standing there until we hear that it's okay, that we're safe and that we can go back in our home. There's no moment like that. So I want all of you to think about and pray. If you're praying people, you're mindful people, if you're meditative people, all of the people right now who did not get to turn around like I did and did not see the wind change like I did and go back into their home and they have nothing left of material being, housing that felt to them safe, that brought them comfort, where they created their families, and just send love. Every day on Facebook, every way that you can, if there's any way to be of service, reach out. You're watching from the Philippines. Oh my God. So reach out to people and even just sending love. Sherry, during disasters like this, I go numb, I go into depression and sometimes detach because I can't handle it. And Aithan Castor, I'm watching from the Philippines. Hi, Aithan? I'm sure I'm not pronouncing it right, but I'm so grateful you're there. Everybody, let's help. Think about how to support Sherry. Sherry, here's the thing. In that moment, you have to know what defines you is this body, this heart, this feeling, this experience of being human, and saying to yourself, even this too, I am strong. Even in this, I can endure. Even in this, there's a lesson. Even in this, I can let go. As painful as that is, we all go into depression when we are powerless over things that come and invade our life. That could be in crisis. That could be an attack, that could be an assault, that could be a verbal assault, that could be someone leaving you, that could be a loved one dying, it could be a fire, it can be an earthquake or a flood. So there's lots of ways that crisis comes into your life and that you're all of a sudden disarmed. All of us feel disarmed, but we have a programming as human beings. We have a programming to thrive and survive. Believe it or not, everything in you, even when you're depressed, even when you're sad, even when you're lonely, everything in you is a survivor. You are wired that way as a human being. Your mind wants to take over and say to you, that's okay, we can get through this too. I'm sad, I'm hurt, I'm broken, but I'm alive. As long as I'm breathing, there's the possibility for change. There's a possibility to rebuild a home. There's a possibility that now I'm just going to move to a different area. I never thought I would do that, but you know what? It's an adventure. It's an opportunity. Maybe that's what the universe or God or whatever you believe in wants for me, is for me to move something in my life and change something in my life. And this dramatic, critical event is going to force that on me because I've been sitting stagnant for a long time, not moving in my life. And sometimes it takes a disaster. Externally, internally, like I've shared with you guys so many times about my cancer. It was a disaster. It was a crisis that came to me, that changed me to my core and allows me to be sitting here with you having these amazing conversations that we have, that I can inspire and guide, and you guys give me inspiration, you know, and passion, I guess, to do it again and to keep coming back. So think about it. I see all the love and I appreciate it. Kelly, my heart goes out to all that were affected by the fire, sending healing prayers. Absolutely. And I'm so glad you agree with that, Tina and George. Atan al astar, así se pronuncia. Atan al castar. Castor. Atan al castor. He's telling me how to pronounce my friend's name from the Philippines, Amy. Yes, exactly. We get so complacent and it takes a lot to move us. So let's talk about crisis and moving. So a crisis presents itself because we're human. A crisis presents itself because it's part of our life story. We can't avoid crisis, even when we don't want it. You will find a loved one or a parent in your life in their old age become mired down or just weighed down with medical issues or Alzheimer's, or a loved one that you didn't expect suddenly who was always healthy just goes. That is the true story for a client of mine that just happened this last month. An extremely healthy father who had never had an issue dies sitting in his chair right after his breakfast conversation with his wife. That incites a crisis in us. It's like a sudden change that comes so quickly that it throws us off what we feel is our feet planted on the ground. We no longer feel grounded in that. And it's the experience of allowing yourself to feel that. Sometimes we'll go numb, and in that numb, you have to say to yourself, I can't feel this right now, but this is devastating and it isn't okay. And I'm scared and I need to reach out to people and I need to get support and I need to move and I need to take action. I can't sit here in this because it's devastating and I need support and I need help. So that's why you reach out to counselors and therapy and Red Cross and help depending on what your crisis is. So in a personal crisis and losing a loved one like that, it's reaching out to friends or family or church or your neighbor or whoever it is to say, oh my God, this devastating thing has just happened to me. I'm a human being and I don't want to walk through it alone. It is very hard to do. And then there's those moments that we have to walk through it alone, that no one else is there and no one understands. It's your moment where you're having a personal crisis and you're facing it. Don't give up, George is saying, and I love it because el pueblo unido jamás será vencido. So George's words, my husband loves to say that, George, but George is saying a united, a community can never be divided and can continue and to thrive after a disaster. So we need to support each other. We need to give each other love and support and guidance. That might mean you know, when the disaster passes, driving up to Northern California and bringing water or bringing clothing or shelter or whatever, or donating or whatever it is that can feed your heart and think, for this moment, I have total compassion for this human being and I cannot imagine the devastation that they might be going through. And I cannot imagine, you can say to Sherry, I can imagine it because I've been through that fear, Sherry, of losing it all. I cannot imagine how Sherry's feeling, thinking that soon she's going to be in the possibility of losing you know, a safety, a home, a safety, a nurturing space for her. So there's all of that. Is loving support is the most important thing. And the other thing is, how do you process your feelings? You can't process them without talking about them. You can't let them go without revealing them, without, you know, looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, I am not okay right now. And this isn't okay, and I'm really scared. The main thing is to acknowledge how you feel when you're in a crisis and to be honest with yourself about it. Amy, it's always a great reminder what we take for granted, what's really important. It's so incredible to remember when you lose someone that you love, how important they were to you. If you lose your home, your car, your job, whatever it is, I have people in that situation, facing that situation, is change is going to come. Change is going to come. It doesn't matter how much we resist it or fight it. We cannot stop change. Change is inevitable. And we get so settled in our ways. And we panic because we think, I don't know how to deal with this new change, this new circumstance, this new relationship, this new boss, this new home, this new environment. I don't know how to deal with it because I've become so set in my ways and so set in my ways and so fixated on how things need to be that when it gets stirred up and when it changes, I'm frightened and I'm uncomfortable and I'm taken off my game. I'm off my mark. I'm off balance. It's for us to know change will always come. Think of it only in the aspect of aging. You can hang on to your youth. I have a daughter who's Peter Pan. She never wants to grow up. She's 18 and she's on the cusp of that. And the struggle that I see that I'm experiencing with her, my struggle to let her go, her struggle to let go, her struggle to take ownership and responsibility for her life while still wanting to be a child and treated and nurtured and loved and carried like a child while still having all the freedom of an adult. Oh my God, it's painful. Like I've wept. I wept and wept and wept yesterday in this process of letting go. I share this with you guys because you have children or you want to have kids or you've been that 18-year-old or you're in that struggle with a loved one right now who's maybe wanting to move away from you or out or find their own path. Letting go is the hardest thing to ever learn to do. And in a crisis and a conflict, it is just like tug of war. The more we pull at and hang on to that, I don't want it to change, I want it to be the same, the more we resist each other and the harder the tug of war is. Do you get that? Because that's where I was at with my daughter, you know, and that's where she's at with me. And I just sat through that yesterday and thought, I'm pulling really hard on this rope. And I've got to find a way to let go and surrender. That will be the same for a fire, natural disaster, a bad relationship, losing a parent, losing a loved one, having cancer, losing your breasts, losing a part of your body, losing a limb. It's the same as when we struggle against that crisis. It actually amplifies the pain and the struggle versus us really surrendering and letting go. I say it like it's easy, and I'm saying to you, it's possible. It's not easy. It's possible, okay? Let me catch up with your comments and tell me more. What do you think about that idea of the tug of war and letting go in a crisis and letting go and struggle? Oh my God, Subamal, you made it. You're here. I'm so excited. That's fantastic. I'm going to read these comments, okay? Amy, it's a great reminder. Kelly, we have a family from Paradise that has family here in my hometown, and I have donated some food and clothing. I felt really good about it. Breaks my heart. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Kelly. That's incredible. Fran, change is the only thing that stays the same. Amen, girl. That was beautifully said. Sherry, hi, Kelly. I live in Corning. Send out prayers. I am so glad that you're supporting and loving each other and stay in contact with each other like you stay in contact with me, okay? If you remember a couple of weeks back when I had some dialogue around Diana, who's on here, I said, reach out to her, messenger her. Just like you've gotten to know me by doing this, you've gotten to know each other, and you're a community of support for each other. Sometimes your family don't get it, your kids don't get it, your spouse don't get it. And someone on here who's been sitting here with you and I over this last year or a couple of months or however long you've been on here with me, we get each other and we feel supported. And this is the kind of support that you need. It's unconditional, without the judgment, without the criticism. And sometimes as family and loved ones, We are too close to the situation. So in crisis, instead of offering support, we do offer criticism. Girl, you need to just suck it up. You need to pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You need to pack yourself. You need to get the heck out, without having compassion for how painful it is to let go during that struggle and that crisis, right? What do you think? Okay, Subal Mom, I'm really happy that you're here. And George is saying his prayers. Hi, Nellie, now. And Tina, thank you, Tina, for, it's so true, something that you heard, Fran. Boy, hi. Okay, Fran, it's a lot. I don't know, either the subject or me here or the conversation, boy. Amy, I've spent this last year alone after 20 years. A major change in my life after being widowed with a son in college. It's been a lot of work accepting, adjusting, and learning a new way. Amen. But feeling stronger than I ever have. Finally, change is the only certainty in life, and accepting is necessary. I hope all who's lost loved ones or homes can stay positive through this time. My heart goes out to them. Amy, that was so beautifully said, and I so appreciate it, and I hope you all heard that and you take in and receive Amy's words. And she's sharing her experience, strength, and hope. And Amy, I so understand that. The widowing part, I cannot imagine. It is absolutely devastating, though I watched my mom become a widow 2 years ago, and I feel intensely and could see the feeling of losing your breath, like you can't even breathe because that person becomes such a part of you. I so admire you for staying focused on moving forward and loving and still having an open heart and being stronger in that, and just accepting the reality of the change that you didn't ask for and you didn't want, but it came anyways. And of course, your son going off to college. Oh my God, the first time I saw Toy Story 3 and it was the boy and he's going away to college and my oldest is the boy, and I wept like a baby, and I thought, oh my God, I need to get ready for this. This will happen. This will be a part of my story, and I need to get acceptance of it. And weeping years before it happened actually helped me, that in that moment, to stand strong and be okay and know that your job as a parent, as a loved one, as a friend, is to let people go with love. Let them go and support them, not hang on selfishly because it's what you need and want and feels good to you. But if you're really in a loving relationship and you let them go, it's a beautiful thing. It shows the ultimate unconditional love is to allow someone to fly and to have their wings and to have their life and to create the life that they want for yourself, for themselves, and you for yourself, but for themselves. That means you've done your job as a parent or as a friend or as a loved one. Hey, Mason. Good to see you, girl. You back home now? That's so awesome. Say hi to Mason. Nellie, now I felt I almost lost myself. Thank God I got Librium and been sober since the first. I don't want to be selfish again. Oh my God, that's fantastic, Nellie. I'm so happy for you, and I'm grateful that you're in the path to recovery and your sobriety, and that's so important, and you don't give it up for anything or anyone. Your sobriety is the most important thing. Your sanity is the most important thing. And when you have those things, nothing else matters. I swear to God, all the trimmings and trappings of a home and furniture and things doesn't mean a damn thing when your life is on the line or someone that you love's life is on the line. We get real small in that moment. We get to understand in that moment that all that matters is my breath and my being. The reality of being here, the reality of having a life, the gift of life, no matter how it comes to us, and the possibility of love in my life are the most important things. Everything else it just doesn't matter. It's just useless is what I want to say. I mean, it is useful. It's useful to have a chair. I'm sitting here talking to you in a video that I can reach out to you upon. But at the end of the day, that's not what I take with me. You know, what do you take with you when you go? So think about that as you're dealing with and looking at crisis and how to get through these crises, these natural disasters or shootings or boyfriends breaking up or girlfriends leaving, cheating, dying, whatever your crisis is today, because that's what we're talking about tonight. Hey, thank you, Mason. I'm glad that you're home. And I love you too. And I'm so glad that you're well, and I will always pray for your continued strength and health in your process and your journey, Mason. And hi, Greta, how are you? So guys, what do you think? You think we got some good tips here on how to deal with crisis, how to stay present, how to embrace your life, have gratitude for your life, how to remember that none of this crap goes with you. No matter how much wealth you amass, it's not going with you to the grave. The only thing that's going to go is your memory, your belief, the love that you leave, the people that you leave behind, the connections that you make. I'm so grateful to, hi Marlene, to have this time with you guys and to catch up with you guys, to hear your story, to share my story with you. Sublimal, I'm so glad that you're here and that you got to hear about that letting go. This is a process that actually prevents us from handing over the remote control of our life and emotions to someone else. Correct. My life and my emotions are mine, and I'm the one to hold on to it and keep it in my control with God's grace. Healthy lifestyle. Love your sessions. Love your comments, Sublimal. It's beautiful, and bless you too. And Jesse, since I left my abusive ex, life has been amazing. Everything is falling into place. Got a job at Marriott, meeting amazing man. Woo woo! Shout out, Jesse. What's up? That's amazing. I love it. You got to see it. You got to go through the pain. You got to go through the struggle, and you come out, I like to say, from that trauma through the cocoon of the trauma, and the little caterpillar is like going into the cocoon of change. And when you change, you come out a butterfly, and butterflies are magnificent. You don't know what that change is going to be, but if you embrace that change in any crisis in the dark, you're going to come out through the light. There's no other way. You can't stay there forever. So you will come out, you will thrive, and you will survive. I'm going to read a few more comments before we close for tonight. Nellie, yes, I was scared. Like I'm going to die. Then I didn't want to be selfish. I put them through it. I see life as precious. Yes, I want to give it to God one day at a time, even moments at a time. Nellie, you keep doing that. Just believe in that. Believe in the miracle of recovery. It is possible for you and anyone. Mental illness, from addiction, whatever your addiction is, believe in that, okay? Every day, every minute, get on your knees and believe in that and surrender and accept. You can do it one day at a time, okay? It will get easier in time. Amy, thank you for supporting Nellie. You'll find strength you didn't know you had. Amen to that, sister. Take it one day at a time. It's cliche, but it's important to not let go. It's overwhelming. Take it a minute at a time. Take it 20 minutes at a time. Take it one day at a time. No other way to do it. Linda, I have been sober for 2 years. Lost 44-year marriage. I hate change, but I'm starting to love myself again. Amen. And lots of love to Linda and loving yourself, girl, because that is the key. When you're in the sorrow and the depths of depression, in a crisis or not in a crisis, because of addiction, because of the natural disasters, as we've been talking about tonight, when you're in that depth of that crisis, it is really hard to love yourself. It's all about self-loathing at that point. And so to find the miracle of love again is worth it. It's worth going through the struggle to find again love and faith in yourself and confidence in yourself and belief in yourself. Then anything becomes possible. I swear to God, it's life-changing. So good for you. I am so glad you shared that with us, Linda and George. George is saying you're a strong woman. I agree. Amen. Amy, didn't read your comment till after I posted my Nellie, but yes, one day at a time or moment, whatever the moment calls for. Beautiful. Nellie, awesome. Thank you. Well, you're welcome. And Amy, congratulations to all of you. Amy's sharing hers. Also, that's wonderful, Linda, and everyone else. I overcame it when I had many doubts and naysayers, but living life sober is possible and wonderful. I love it. That's a wonderful message, and I will take that topic on, whether it's now or in a week or two, around sobriety and recovery. A lot of you who watch me aren't recovering addicts or alcoholics, but it is one of my areas of expertise, and I do like to share, especially around the holidays. I'm a recovering codependent, and that's a whole other ballgame, and I have talk to you guys about that as well. But recovery from anything, it could be recovery from depression, from cancer, from a failed marriage, from a loss of a child, from death, grief, loss, all of those things too. We can talk about recovery from all of the things that hurt us as human beings. Okay, have a wonderful evening, and I'm grateful. I appreciate you guys so much. I love that you tune in here with me. I love that you engage with me in this way, and it keeps me having to keep coming back too. So you inspire me to keep coming back and to keep this commitment with you no matter how hard it gets, no matter what's going on in my life, so that you know that somebody's showing up for you too, okay? So thank you. I appreciate you. I send you my love. Please, please, please get on my page. Good night to you, Nellie and George and Sherry and Linda and Amy and Mason and Sublimal and blah, 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 all of y'all. So get on my page, like it, send me topics. I love it when I get to use your topics, okay? God bless you all. Hey, this Sunday is George's birthday. Everybody shout out to George. Oh my God. You know, it wouldn't be the same without George. So happy birthday to you, George. I'm so glad you're sharing a birthday with me, my birthday month. I think it's amazing. Scorpio? That explains a lot, George. So happy birthday to you. God bless. I send you kisses and hugs. Good night to all of you. Tune in next Wednesday. I'll see you there. Bye.